Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI Talk. Ich bin nach wie vor in Vancouver und jetzt hören wir sich eine neue Story an. Eine neue Story deswegen, weil sie erst 6 Monate an der Börse notiert ist. Aber sehr interessant, kommt aus einer anderen Firma raus und hat ein paar Sachen, die sehr, sehr interessant sind. Wir sind bei Mawson Finland und wie man schon im Namen erkennen kann, es geht um Finnland, Europa. Und das könnte natürlich jetzt gerade spannend sein, gerade auch in dem Umfeld, wo wir uns bewegen mit upcoming Trade War Möglichkeiten, woher kommen unsere Rohstoffe. Deswegen ist das eine ganz spannende Sache. Neil, thank you for your time. I said in my German introduction. First, you are a brand new story, 6 months on the market. Second, you are in Europe, Finland, Mawson Finland. Looks like that you're in Finland. And third is maybe for us it's very important when something coming up like trade wars, where Donald Trump's the new president of America working on it. Maybe it's very important where your resources come from. And especially in Europe, we have really a lot of mine. We have a lot of interesting areas, but we are not really have mines in operation.
Yeah.
So maybe you can fill us in how also the companies come. Mawson is a name.
Yeah.
So Mawson Finland looks like that you have a relation with Mawson Gold. So maybe you fill us in a little.
Yeah, that's correct. And thanks for having me, Joe. I really appreciate it. So as you mentioned, our company came out of Mawson Gold. The process started in December of 2023. So we purchased the Finnish assets from Mawson Gold, and then we launched a company on the TSX Venture Exchange in August of 2024. So Mawson Finland started trading in August. We IPO'd at $1 a share. Currently we're trading at about $1.90 Canadian. During that time frame, we also drilled the property. We have a resource out on the property and a PEA already. We added to that by drilling in 2024. We did 11,400 meters. We put out all those drill results when we were public in September and October in 2024. And we're moving very quickly. We actually just announced last week we've mobilized 4 drill rigs at Raya Palat. So we aim to do about 12 to 15,000 meters this year. So it's going to be a very active drill season. We're going to have a lot of news flow and catalysts, and it's going to be a busy time at Raya Palat in northern Finland.
Okay, but we are not talking about which commodities we are looking for.
Oh sorry, Well, I guess I should say that. It's gold, cobalt.
Okay.
It's gold, cobalt properties. So about 90% gold, 10% cobalt in terms of the revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very, obviously we're very pleased with that mix. Gold is very important. We're sitting at all-time highs on gold, and cobalt, as we know in the EU, is it's a critical metal, and having that domestic source of cobalt in our portfolios is great for us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you say you have already a PEA on it. How it still looks like?
Yeah, well, it's there's the gold components, about 867,000 ounces of gold at 2.8 grams per ton of gold. There's 4,400 tons of cobalt at 441 ppm cobalt. So, like I mentioned, primary, it's a gold mine. Again, with the cobalt, it's a nice addition to that resource.
In this PEA, are the last year drilling included or not?
No, that 2024 drilling is not included in the PEA.
So, and also, then you have now the drilling from last year, and this year you plan a big program.
Yeah.
So when you plan then an update on the PEA?
Yeah, that's our intention. Based on the results this year, we aim to update the PEA or the resource by year end.
From the resource, do you have size to potential grow the thing, or is this more going to bring this in a higher category?
No, it's definitely to grow the resource, right? So that was our mandate, was out of the gate. We wanted to grow the resource by 50%, so our intention is to aim towards that goal.
Mm-hmm. Do you have when you have a PEA, do you have also a rough idea what the capex are, how this looks like?
Yeah.
And in general, who is the infrastructure?
Well, the infrastructure is fantastic up there. I mean, we're 35 kilometers from the city of Rovaniemi in Finland, so paved road right to site, excellent infrastructure. close to hydropower and things like that. So, but yeah, we have a CapEx on it. It's 191 million. We did our PEA. Actually, the PEA that's listed, it's at $1,700 gold. $1,700 gold. We have a US dollar NPV after tax of $211 million US. In our sensitivity table, we take it as high as $2,000 gold, and at that we have an NPV of US dollars 333 million. So obviously today's gold price is quite a bit higher. So you know, when we move things forward in terms of the resource, and when we do our updated PEA later, we'll obviously, you know, adjust the gold price accordingly.
Finland, Europe regulation. So we always think that it's really tough to bring some mine in production.
Yeah.
Is this really the case in Finland too?
Well, I'll say, like, our CEO is a lady by the name of Nora Eola. She lives in Rovaniemi. She's a key player. She came over from Mawson Gold as well. She was on the story for about 10 years. So she's very involved and, you know, knows Finnish permitting and government relations very well. And certainly the cobalt aspect will you know, give us some, alleviate some of the, you know, hurdles that we may hit. So, you know, she's in charge of that and has that all under control. So we're very confident that we're going to be able to, you know, meet our expectations in terms of moving that forward.
But generally, we can say the northern of Europe, Finland, Sweden, is much better to bring some mines into production than maybe the rest of Europe.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, I mean, it's got a mine, you know, you got Ignico up there, you know, Rupert's operating up there, some other, you know, companies. Great jurisdiction. I mean, they do a good job. Ignico does a great job, great corporate citizen in the area. So we intend to emulate that and have a key focus on ESG and certainly, you know, the locals. You know, what I will say, as part of the IPO, we had about 70 Finnish investors participate in that IPO. So we're very pleased to have that local participation in our IPO. So it's important to have that, you know, that social contract with the local communities.
What also is important is, the most people forget, this is shareholder structure. So you're coming up now.
Yeah.
There's a 70 investor from Finland.
Yeah.
So how the shareholder structure looks like now.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Mawson
yeah.
Finland.
This is, and we talk about this a lot. You know, we've known each other for many years, and I've been in this space a long time. And for me, shareholder structure is absolutely key. We have 19 million shares outstanding. So, and all that stock was at $1 Canadian. So, there's no warrants attached to anything. So, very tight shareholder structure, fantastic shareholder base that are long-term shareholders that are there for the long haul for us and intend to see us move Raya Palat forward towards moving that into a mining, into a mine. So again, like, share structure to me is a key aspect of our story going forward, and that'll be a very key point for us, is like managing that shareholder structure, and we don't want to dilute.
For sure, but at some point you must dilute, and you need money to drill. And then
of course.
Stuff out.
Yeah.
Do you can say more from where the shareholders come?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a lot of shareholders that came over from Mawson Gold because it was offered to Mawson Gold shareholders first. So some of the key shareholders in that were involved for sure. We also a fellow by the name of Darren Morecom. He's a key shareholder of the company. He's also involved with Foran Mining as well. So he's a key shareholder for Mawson Finland going forward.
Okay. We have now the shareholder structure, we have now the project and going forward. But coming then maybe to the news flow, you say you will start, or you start already with 4 drill rigs.
Yeah.
So what we can expect then from the company, from the news flow? So when you believe we're coming out with the first results, what this mean for the rest of the year?
Yeah. No, like I say, we've started on drilling on Raya Palat. We'd like to see, in and around the time of PDAC in early March, we'd like to see some of the, the early stage drill results coming out. We're just getting started now. Turnaround times at the lab seem to be very good, so we'll move very quickly to get that news flow out and get the catalyst going.
And I think the most important thing is that you have this news out, and with the news you can drive the share price.
Well, that's exactly it, right? And this is, anything that we do going forward, it's always about creating value on a per share basis, right? So, whenever we do, do financings or, dilute, it'll be with the intention of increasing the resource and adding value based on that.
Brings me to my last question is, exploration is always expensive. Do you have enough cash to run this whole program for this year?
Well, this year we can get it started. We'll look at our options. We'll look at the market and see what the market brings for us going forward. We have strong shareholders, who are very supportive, and they'll be the first shareholders in anything down the road.
Your share price is a little bit high. So I said it before, it's my last question, but some question. Your share price is compared to other ones. When we look at really high, you're now 190.
190, I think. Yeah, right.
This is also a little bit unusual. So you have a little bit unusual company here. So tight share structure.
Yeah.
How many warrants are outstanding?
There's zero warrants.
Zero warrants.
Yeah.
So 0 warrants outstanding is also very unusual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Share price is a little bit higher than the other one.
Yeah.
But this comes then with this tight shareholder structure and with this how you set up the company.
Yeah, it definitely does, right? So and we did that purposefully, right? Because we want to make sure that we control the shareholder structure going forward. And it's not like what you see these 10-cent penny stocks. It's a company that it was formed with already a resource attached to it with a PEA as well. So it's a pretty unique scenario. You don't see companies of this caliber with this level of a project with that low a share count. It just doesn't happen.
Neil, thank you for the first introduction to your company. It was really very interesting. Ja, also was wissen wir? Es geht Finnland natürlich. Sie sind aus Mawson rausgekommen, haben dann ein Projekt übernommen, das schon eine Ressource drauf gehabt hat, 870.000 Unzen, soweit ich mich erinnere. Es geht Gold und Kobalt. Der Share ist ungefähr 90% Gold, 10% Kobalt. Was Kobalt natürlich sehr interessant macht, weil Kobalt ist ja eigentlich primär vom Kongo und da wissen wir, sind die Bedingungen nicht wirklich super und deswegen will wir eigentlich die Abhängigkeit vom Kobalt-Export oder Import reduzieren und daher ist das eigentlich eine extrem interessante Sache. Was extrem spannend ist, Sie haben letztes Jahr im August das IPO gefeiert, haben mit $1 den IPO gemacht. Wir sind jetzt bei 1,90. Ich glaube, im Hoch waren wir mal bei 2,70 oder sowas in dem Dreh. Gold, eher eine Ressourcenschätzung, PEE war bei 1700 durchschnittlich. Wo wir jetzt im Goldpreis stehen, wissen Sie selber, 2750 oder sowas sind wir heute. Also deutliches Ab von dem Potenzial. So, was haben Sie getan währenddessen, dass Sie noch privat waren und das gekauft haben? Sie haben über 11.000 Meter gebohrt. Sie wollen heuer vor 4 Drill-Rigs laufen jetzt momentan. Sie wollen heuer 12.000 Meter bohren dort. Diese sind alle natürlich nicht in der PE natürlich drinnen. Es wird früher oder später mal PE kommen und natürlich wird sich dann dort automatisch auch die Zahlen total ändern und sie wollen halt die Ressource auch erweitern, auch wichtig. Also es ist nicht jetzt so, dass man dort Infill-Drilling macht und nur Infill-Drilling macht, um die Kategorie zu erhöhen, sondern man will es vor allem auch exportieren. Dieses Portion von Kobalt dürfen wir nicht unterschätzen, denn das ist ein strategisches Metall für die EU auch. Und wir wissen, dass da die EU genau in die Richtung jetzt geht. Und das könnte eine ganz interessante Komponente sein, die das eigentlich erst richtig greift. Finnland und Schweden sind deutlich besser, was die Regulations betrifft, was an Minen betrifft. Es ist wirklich schwierig, wahrscheinlich in Europa, Kontinentaleuropa, eine Mine an den Start zu bringen. Das ist viel einfacher in Finnland, weil dort auch also eine bestehende Infrastruktur, generell ist die Infrastruktur sehr, sehr gut. Also sie haben dort von Power über Straßen alles dort sehr guten in Schuss und deswegen sind auch die Zugänge relativ einfach und dadurch ist das natürlich ein Riesenvorteil, was wir jetzt haben. Was wirklich extrem selten ist die Shareholder Structure. Wir haben, glaube ich, 19 Millionen Aktien draußen, wir notieren jetzt bei 1,90. Wir haben keine Warrants, keine waren es. Das ist extrem selten. Und wie gesagt, der Kurs ist bei 1,90. Also wir haben hier nicht einen 10-Cent-Stock oder 20-Cent-Stock, sondern einen $1,90-Stock. Ganz eine andere Situation. Viele können auch möglicherweise machen ein IPO bei $1, sind wir dann noch bei 20-30 Cent. Das haben wir leider auch oft. Also ist ein bisschen eine total unique Story, und das macht es eigentlich spannend, weil das hat auch im Vorgespräch gesagt, die Shareholder-Struktur ist extrem interessant. Ja, also sie sind extrem gute Leute involviert, die auch teilweise von Mawson Gold kommen. Sie haben auch neue Investoren aus Finnland selber, was auch immer gut ist. Und ja, von daher wirklich eine spannende Story. So, das war es von Mawson Finland irgendwann im Jänner 2025 in Vancouver. So, tschüss und baba, pfiat euch. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.